Hello, and today we will be playing By Your Hands. This came out within the first week of March, just like it does with every other update. It comes out usually within the first few days of the month. I had a lot of There's been a lot of VNs that have new updates out, and plus I've had to do some stuff, so I haven't been able to do this new update sooner. But anyway, it's out. It's out. I'm able to do it now. So anyway, it's a little different from the other updates because instead of it continuing Camille's route, this is going to be a little short story, like a side story. It's about Yousef, who is the yak that Rex talked to about Camille. So it's about Yousef, the yak, who's on the football team, and I'm not sure what it's about, but I'm about to figure out what it's about. So it's a little side story. So I'll go ahead and go to extras and the details here. Hey, this is the first side story for By Your Hands. In the future, all side stories will have their own menu similar to the CG gallery. This is a placeholder until then, so please understand. This side story was written by Charlie Tiger and edited by Hughes Cookie and Nemo. This takes place right after Day 5 of Camille's route, so please read up till that point to avoid spoilers. Anyways, enjoy the story. Orange sunset gleamed through the tree leaves as he leaned on the creaking post of old newspaper bin. Time seemed to come in seconds as he counted the number of yellow cars that passed by. Every minute gave him some kind of itch as he waited for something or someone. A someone who gave him comfort and levity from his sense of unease. Elaborating on what had led the yak to this misfortunate state would take much more than an hour of time, though, and undoubtedly the yak wouldn't like that. It had been beyond a tiring week for him, especially after what he had to deal with earlier that day. The young man was alone in many senses of the word, with the exception of a few passersby walking home after their work shift with the occasional flock of pigeons while passing by every once in a while. Taking in a small but considerable piece of serenity of nature around him in the urban area, he took the time to relax and unwind after stressing out for days on end. Had it not been for the promise a special someone had made a week ago, he would have already gone mad. He took a deep breath, inhaling the cool breeze, then gently huffed. It's been a while. I hope the fuck he didn't decide to flake on me today. That's the last thing I need right now. The yak gave a deep sigh. He took in the scenery once more until his eyes spotted a peculiar black van. The van was familiar to him, and he's seen it many times before in the campus plumbing service with all the merry colors and vintage text, and yet he's never seen anyone leave the vehicle. He paid it no mind, however, when he heard a car honking from a distance to grab his attention. He turned his head and saw the familiar, worn-down charmer of a car driving down his view. The vehicle came down to meet the yak and rolled down the car window to reveal a lanky and youthful, yet older than Yousef himself, vampire bat driving. Hey, baby boy. The yak glanced away while heat spread across his cheeks. Hey, Victor. He took a moment to compose himself. It's despite an entire year of knowing each other, the younger man still cringed at the older one's charming but embarrassing nicknames. It wasn't a shock, just hard to readjust himself after the brief but considerable time apart, especially since they had just recently decided to take the step from friends to boyfriends. How things changed, the yak thought. You said you'd be here 10 minutes ago. What happened? The bat's playful smile flattened ever so slightly. Well, today I realized that I'm absolutely terrible at keeping track of the time. I was getting gas for my car, and I decided to buy these mini sandwich cookies they had at the store, but then I saw that they had fucking blood sour chips and anyway, sorry I couldn't get back to you earlier. I could risk texting while driving during such a busy hour. It's fine, I understand. Just explaining yourself is good enough for me. Thankfully, Victor's place was apparently pretty close by, so the two of them didn't have much to worry about. Get in the car, cutie. The yak rolled his eyes, failing to hold back a side grin as he slid into the passenger seat. As he put on his seatbelt, the warm breeze in the cushy leather seat soothed away the stress of the day. The cozy feeling oozed into his body as he sank into him. Oh, fuck. You missed this? Yeah, I love being in your car, babe. Victor grinned as he gently put a hand on Yousef's thigh. Well, hopefully I'll love being inside you. He grunted and lashed his tail, flinched, but didn't look away. I don't know how you're able to say that without making me want to punch you. Not that I'm complaining. Victor gave him a smirk before returning his hand to the wheel. As he started to drive, he decided to play some music from his phone, both walk, of course, and turn on the AC. You okay with this, cutie? Yeah, this is good. Alright then. With a light tap on the wheel, the bat took a quick glance at the slumped yak. So, how was practice? You still want to murder Liam? The bull's ears flicked. Maybe you shouldn't say that, considering there's a killer on the loose. Sorry, I didn't really realize how serious things have become. It's fine. Anyways, practice was alright. Liam is still a dick though. Other than that, things aren't too bad. Yeah. The winged lad gave a quick glance at the bovine. Something happened today? You seem a little down. Well, Yousef sighed. Today was weird. You okay with me going on about what happened? As much as I love Brauhaus, I'm fine with us talking over music I've listened to 7,000 times already. He lowered the volume on his phone as if to make a point. So what happened? Well, so me, Camille, and his friend went to this hair salon. Homophobic Prince and you guy? Yeah. This should be good. Well, I wanted Camille to make up with Fierro after what happened the last time we were there and maybe straighten out his insecurity, but things didn't go as I thought. Fierro tried his best to not upset the homophobic Prince, but Camille walked out in the middle of his haircut and ended up making a scene. He had to pay with an unfinished haircut just so he could leave the place as soon as possible. And then Di showed up. Oof. Did he go out with a half bald head? I wish it was only a trim. Anyhow, things were awkward afterward, and when the homophobe gang left, I noticed that Camille's friend looked a bit uneasy. I figured it was because of the argument, but I decided to explain to him that Camille has some homophobic tendencies. It then turned into this thing where I talked about how Camille was too afraid to speak up for himself, and I ended up giving a lot more advice than I was prepared for. I told him to talk to Camille and tried to encourage him to work through his issues. He told me he's gay too, and I wouldn't want to and wouldn't want that to get in the way of their friendship. You think he has a crush on Camille? I have an inkling he might. He was eyeing Camille in the locker room. Then again, he seemed to like leering at everyone in the locker room. Ah man, always looking at what their sick desires want, no matter what. It's honestly repulsive. It's a bad said that he saw a knowing look towards the yak's lower regions. Heat gathered between the bull's thighs, causing him to grunt and sift around. Okay, I get the hint. By the way, he seems to care a lot about Camille, his well-being. The bat gave a light and eerie chuckle. Being serious here, I do think things are going to work out for him. Camille may be a homophobic prince, but he's not cruel. If his close friend comes out to him and really talks to him, then I'm sure he'll reconsider that maybe the queers aren't so disgusting. I mean, they are pretty disgusting, but there are different kinds of disgusting than what Di and Camille think they are. The yak couldn't help but let out a small giggle at the heavy sarcasm. Oh, fuck off. Thinking about it, I can't help but feel like he's taking out his frustration with people he's not able to confront or call out or marginalized groups he can get away with insulting. Like if he tried to call out Tucker, he'd probably be in some real deep shit, not so much with some random homo. It's a bit of a stretch, but I can see that. But you're probably right. I should trust that Camille will listen to his friend and get the reality check he desperately needs. Assuming new guy talks to him, which he will because you're awesome, he's going to listen to your intelligent and well thought out advice. Yeah, you're right. I should stop doubting myself. You really should. You're worth so much more than you think you are. Maybe. Speaking of Camille's friend, he said something that struck with me. No? He asked me why I don't talk to Camille about all this. I told him I've tried that before and that I just don't have the guts to say what he needs to hear. But I thought about it, and he did seem like he was going to follow up on my advice. I feel like I was able to help out in some way. I thought that if I was able to make one person understand my perspective, maybe I'd be able to knock some sense to the rest of the team and make a difference if I just calmly talk to them. I'm sensing a but there, baby boy. But then I remember that he's only a freshman who's also a newbie to the football team. I feel like he's no risk in talking to him. But if I tried talking like that to any of the other members, I'd probably choke from the pressure because they're so headstrong and I'm just a total mess. The bat leaned his head back as he took a deep breath in. My baby, you break my heart. It pains me to see you doubt yourself so much, huh? I'll do that. Sorry for pouring this all out onto you. No worries. It's my job to listen to you bitch so long. I don't just mean it in the car. The yak immediately jerked away, but didn't turn away. Oh, shut up. Hit their head. I always said the way Yousef would cover his mouth and how his grinning was cute, and it was a pretty good indicator of when the yak's mood had improved too. How Camille and his friend get together? What, you mean as a romantic couple? No, as a circus duo. Yes, I mean as a romantic couple, you thick boy. Ignoring that last part, where the fuck is this coming from? You just got me thinking about our poor homophobic prince. That boy needs to get laid so badly that I'm almost sure he's going to combust if he doesn't get in by the end of this year. I mean, it's so obvious that he's in the closet and stops being funny and starts being sad. I guess we could always get Todd to help out, but I'm pretty sure his homophobia would get worse with that man involved. Instead, I think a young, horny himbo like your mutual friend would be just the thing to praise gay to stay. Think about it, babe. His friend tells him to stop being homophobic, then once he starts to become less prejudiced, he starts opening up about his sexuality. And when Camille comes out to him, the new guy can jump at the chance to slam his dick into his hot, huge titty friend's fat, hairy ass and make him moan loud enough to reach the hills. What? You said you didn't mind it. You said you didn't mind if I described how hot your football friends are. You got really into it. Really? Sorry about that. I'm a horny little gremlin top. It's in my blood. It's fine. I already know that the sex lives of our friends catch your attention more than a giant dancing BK stripper or jockstrap studded with neon lights. Now right. And how are you so certain Camille's a bottom? Well, I'm absolutely sure that he's a total bottom. I have a sixth sense on knowing what gay guys like doing in bed. Just when? I call bullshit. But for starters, I was able to predict that you're a sub-bottom before you told me. That you're a sub-bottom before you told me all your dirty fantasies. That was just pure luck. It doesn't prove anything. And before you, I was able to correctly guess the positions of guys I dated before I even talked to them. And how are you able to prove that? Ask Vlad. He's seen that sixth sense of mine in action plenty of times. And it seems a little biased. I've heard you make plenty of wrong assumptions before. Maybe you just didn't tell Vlad when you were wrong because you didn't go out with the guys who were tops and made the excuse that you weren't interested in them. You really don't believe me, do you? I'm a bull who sits, therefore I can smell bullshit when it's present. CG lines won't work for me, Buggo. I'm telling you, Camille's a stubby bottom who needs a dick in his ass. And you know that how exactly? Don't be ridiculous. He's an internalized homophobe who stifles up the slightest touch and always prioritizes the needs of others. That's a scream sub-bottom. Okay, but consider this. How people express themselves in the bedroom is often a reflexive of what they can do or desire in day-to-day life. Camille's always kissing up to all his friends and giving up control to make sure they're happy. He probably secretly desires time where he's the one in control. At most, he'd be a power bottom. But he's also working to keep the peace. He's constantly putting in effort to make sure he's a man his father expects him to be. It's likely he wishes he could be spoiled once in a while. And I believe that's what we call a checkmate, baby boy. Well, maybe he's asexual, straight. It just so happened to have something traumatic happen to him that caused him to be homophobic. It's don't even start. You're only saying that because you don't want me to be right. You can't get away with pretending that you didn't think he wanted dick before this. I'm just saying, I think there's some possibility that he's not a sub-bottom. Don't act like you know what he is. Okay, fine. I won't assume that he's a sub even though he totally is, so you can be happy. You know what? Let's bet on it. What? $30 if he's a sub-bottom. I mean, I don't mind, but really, that's another 30 for me then. I'm feeling good about this. I want to prove that you're not the great horny oracle you claim to be. Okay then, fine, it's on. Good. One more thing. How do I figure out if he's a sub-bottom? He'll probably have to wait until he starts having sex first. Okay, but when that happens, do I just ask him? You could do that, but I think there's a better way. After he has sex for the first time, try and ask him something along the lines of, did you do it to him good? If he answers in a confused or flustered manner, he's a sub-bottom. If he answers more confidently, then he's not. Not sure if that's going to work. I'll figure it out when we get there. Alright. By the way, look where we are. Yousef looked. The car was pulling up to a gated entry into our apartment complex parking lot. Almost home. Looks fancy. With an airy chuckle, the bat inserted a key card into a machine by the driveway. The gate slid open, allowing the vehicle to enter. After parking his car, Victor led Yousef to his apartment. Despite their time together, it was the first time the yak had ever been invited into his now boyfriend's home. The boy, usual, the boy usually preferred to spend time in the back of his own home or outside due to convenience, so he was eager to take in everything it had to offer. So this is your place. Yep. Share it with Todd, but most of the stuff here is mine. Basically, if it's not black and soulful, then it's his. I see. It's pretty nice. Definitely has enough room for two people to live in. Yes, decent living. Rent and bills are pretty manageable with my current job, although for some reason Todd insists I only pay 40% and the cost instead of 50. Oh, any reason? Said something about wanting things to be easier for me, so I'm more likely to be happy living with him. I don't know, it's hard to figure out what goes on in that head of his. Yeah, he's weird from what I've seen of him. Yeah, but he's a good and reliable guy regardless. At least I can't really complain. The younger man scratched the back of his neck while taking another look around. Where is he, by the way? The older man shrugged in response. Don't know. Then asked him when he left, probably at some humble folks' apartment, getting his ass pounded. Said he'd be home around midnight, though, which gives us plenty of time. Anyways, let's go to bed, shall we? The boy clicked his tongue and flipped his ears. Alright then. Victor led Yousef into a bedroom adorned with posters of dreary album covers and memorabilia of famous Gothic literature and films. To a boorish person, this place would be a living nightmare to sleep in, but to one with more of a devil's soul. Your room is so fucking cool. I'm greatly flattered to hear that from such a cultured young man. I'm only 5 years younger than you. Most romance titles wouldn't even consider us an age gap relationship. Would it be harder for you if there was an age gap? The younger man put both his hands on the older man's head. Bad thoughts, be gone. With a laugh, the bat gingerly pushed the yak's arms away. I'll take that as a no. Victor then took a seat on the bed and patted a spot for the other man to sit. Yousef let out a deep sigh before taking the invitation. A call from a yak, intentionally done to clear the awkwardness. I'd like to get a room as sick as this, but right now I don't think I can deal with my family making comments about how edgy it would be. Plus, I'm kind of strapped for cash at the moment. Don't worry too much about the now, babe. One day you'll get the most lavish and haunting bedroom known to animal kind. There are those who can't afford to buy a house at least. Yousef reluctantly smirked in response. Wouldn't that be nice? He looked away, trying to think of some other topic of conversation. They both knew he was just stalling for time before they got to the real reason for the visit, though. Feeling nervous? The yak barely suppressed a flinch. He then clicked his tongue. A little. The bat caressed the younger man's shoulders in slow and gentle motions. Take your time. There's no need to rush things. The yak nodded without saying a word. Victor just sat still, patiently waiting for the yak to make a move. Yousef muttered something under his breath, the reason between his thighs slowly getting harder and tighter. So, do I just start touching you? Do what you want, babe. I'll let you know if there's anything I'm not okay with, alright? Okay. The yak eyed the bat's face. Slowly, he began to approach the leaf-framed man. With a hand on the other's thigh, he pressed his lips against the bat's own. As soon as they made contact, Victor put an arm around the younger man and pulled him closer. Soon they were making out, with soft but passionate kisses spread across several minutes. Yousef had needed this more than anything in that moment. His body felt like it could melt his lover's lightest touch. Victor, meanwhile, was in a much better emotional state. Nevertheless, he enjoyed the opportunity to be closer with his boyfriend than ever before. The two had kissed, of course, but never with the amount of lust and passion they were displaying in that moment. The younger man was the more inexperienced of the two, but he was more capable than he had been just a week ago. Victor was a very good teacher. Soft waves were sent down each of the men's spines as they continued on. As electric shocks of pleasure ran up and down those spines, their movements became more aggressive. The noises of enjoyment almost feral. Victor. Eventually they collapsed onto the bed, Yousef on top of the bed, his weight pressing down on the lither, older man. When he pulled away, still keeping an arm around his boyfriend, the yak looked right into the bat's eyes. Enjoying this? Yeah, I like it a lot. With his free hand, Victor brushed the fringe of fur away from Yousef's face. You got a new haircut? You only notice now? What can I say? I keep my eyes on pretty much all other parts of you. Though I do like it when I can see those gorgeous little eyes of yours. The yak chuckled. Okay, I can forgive you this time, but I don't think you can keep getting away with it. He had said a variation of that exact line 4 times already over the course of their budding relationship. The bat simply smiled at him. All right then, baby boy. His hand returned to stroking Yousef's back and signaled for the younger man to continue taking the lead for the moment. May I? The vampire bat showed a little teeth in his smile, not afraid of scaring away the innocent herbivore. Such a good boy, always asking before doing anything dirty. Go ahead. The yak gave a huff, his expression conflicted between a glare and a smirk. Better safe than sorry. The two explored each other's bodies, being more intimate than they've ever been before. It was an incredible feeling for Yousef, for this was the first time he experienced anything like that. While Victor was used to the feeling, it still felt great for him as well. The two finished by holding each other close in deep silence, not wanting to let go. And then the pizza Victor ordered arrived. This is officially the least cool thing I've seen you do. Do you like Mad Paradise? Hey, Carson, the new dance floor, was experimenting with a new sound that previous artists had only scratched the surface of. Yousef stared at him with an unimpressed expression. Okay, I'm sorry. The two were munching on their food, the herbivore eating his slice of veggie pizza, and the sanguivore eating his breadsticks dipped in blood sauce. I just wanted the two of us to eat and hang out together after sex, but I guess I didn't read the room exactly. After the pizza guy even arrived right after we finished. He can make special requests when ordering, and I kinda have enough experience to time it just right. Good to know. The yak alternated between looking at the bed and looking away. Look, next time I'll tell you ahead of time when I'm ordering food instead of doing it unprompted. Yousef took a few seconds to swallow before sighing. Alright, fine, I'll forgive you. It's just that I felt like you weren't taking this as seriously as I wanted. I just lost my virginity to you, and that's a huge deal to me. I know you had sex a good amount of times before, but I don't want you to treat this like just another one-night stand. For the first time that evening, Victor's face contorted into a grim frown before he let out a heavy sigh. That's not what I meant to do. I really like you a lot, and I wanted you to enjoy this night as much as possible, but he groaned through his gritted teeth. I fucked up, didn't I? Feeling awkward for making his boyfriend feel bad about himself, Yousef helped out and sighed and put his free arm around the bed. It's okay, don't feel as if this is all your fault. I'm probably making this more of a big deal than it actually is. You didn't do anything wrong. You might be the coolest guy I know, but that doesn't mean you can't make mistakes and occasionally do things that rub me the wrong way. I'm still a bit annoyed, but that's a me issue. The older man's face reverted back to his usual smile. I'm glad you understand that the great Victor is not. I'm glad you understand that the great Victor is only an animal. He cleared his throat. Seriously though, we've only been dating officially for, a few weeks. Relationships are all about communication and working together. We will talk things out that I'm sure we can get past everything. You make a good point, and it helps that this is good food. I only order the best for my baby boy. Thanks. While the bear continued to eat, the yak let out a pensive sigh. Then he lets his own plate down. Then he sets his own plate down, sits it close to Victor, and moves his hand in front of the other man's mouth. I kind of want to return the favor now. What do you want? What do you want me to say? You're blind? Yes. Oh. The yak cleared his throat with a quiet cough. I lifted up, and the amount of blood loss from a vampire bite. The vampire bat bite is usually only a few drops. It takes quite a few bites in a short period of time to severely weaken an animal, and it's only very rarely that there is danger of them dying from it. I can take a little pain, so as long as you don't do it too often, I'll be fine. The bat choked out an awkward laugh at his lover's request. But why? The yak could have just turning his head away in embarrassment. I thought it would be nice to let you see how my blood tastes, considering your diet. Oh, wow. It's weird, isn't it? It's not weird, it's just I'm a bit surprised, that's all. If you want me to suck your blood, then I'm willing to do so, babe. Yousef laughed slightly, still not confident about his request. Just not on your arm. I wouldn't want your fingers to get weak because of me. But I'd rather not have anyone mistake us for being in a physically abusive relationship. Yousef nodded his head in agreement. How about on your thigh? That works. Alright then. He puts his foot aside as well, then leaned over to press a kiss to Yousef's inner thigh. A moment later, after one more glance to confirm the yak's consent, he bit down. Intense pain, vampire bat teeth were quite sore after all, but there was also a shock of excitement surging through the younger man. An interplay of eroticism and nourishment was something unfamiliar to the both of them, yet it was a seductive surprise for the yak and the bat. Victor sunk his teeth into the tender flesh, taking the blood of his beloved. He knew he was straddling the line of pain and pleasure, and made sure not to go too far. He was quick to pull away, leaving only a pair of pinpricks and a faint hickey on Yousef's thigh. There was a numb pain to that spot that the yak barely noticed. I gotta say, I can't decide which is the better meal, your ass or your blood, but both taste divine. The yak's cheeks flushed before he made a flapping gesture with his hand. That's right, you're going to be the enemy. Well, at least take solace in the fact that it won't literally be the case. They both chuckled at the absurdity of the idea. That's when the bat knows a not-so-little detail about the yak. Yeah, guess I know the real reason why you wanted me to buy you. Yousef was momentarily confused when he realized what the older man was talking about. He reached down to cover his erection with his left hand. Good thing that wasn't the hand he ate with. Let's just say I'd be open to doing more stuff like that during sex next time. The bat patted his back. That will certainly be up my alley, although you want me to take care of that right away. Sorry, I'm all out of energy at the moment. No, it's fine. I'm sure it will go away on its own. And now I could just crank it out. Alright? The yak sighed and turned his head away. Something the matter? He glanced back towards the bat. Oh, it's nothing. Just thinking about Camille. What made you think of him? Well, he's a crocodile, which basically means that he tends to have an easier time befriending virgins and non-virgins. Well, that explains a lot. What, are you afraid he's going to stop being friends with you? I mean, yeah, more or less. Baby boy, you're being ridiculous. Being real with you, he spends most of his free time with football players. I really doubt all of them happen to be virgins. I'm still losing your V card isn't going to ruin your friendship with him. And if it does cause problems, you can always talk them out with me or the others. Yeah, I guess I'm just worrying too much again. Any dark thoughts remaining in Yousef's mind began to dissolve as he shifted his focus back to his food. They finished their dinner, Victor putting away what leftovers remained in the fridge and then resumed their cuddling on the bed. They had started getting late. They showered together and got dressed before Victor drove Yousef home. Well, tonight was really fun. Again, I'm so glad I got to spend time with you. I really enjoyed my time with you this evening too. I'm glad my first time was with you, Victor. I'll be sure to never forget it. And I'll make sure we'll have more nights like that in the future. I really hope so. He got out of the car after checking to see if anyone was looking, he quickly kissed Victor on his lips. Good night, Victor. Good night, babe. Victor slowly drove off, Yousef waving after him with a warm smile on his face. The yak then walked the rest of the way home, making sure not to wake his family up with his arrival. Well, if it isn't the titty-munching brother. It's the public bill that adds a side story, Bloodsucker, featuring Yousef and Victor. Yousef spends the night with small-talk Victor, who's on the same wavelength as me, further developing the relationship while also exploring some thoughts the yak has been thinking lately. So what's the think of this story? Love it. Score one for the boys back home. Favor and rate the game if you haven't. I'm kind of obliged to ask you this since you like it so much. Click the button on the left to become a patron and get other access to builds as well as work in progress, guides, and other stuff in the higher tiers. Day 6 require a lot of resources both in terms of art and writing, lots of different branches in that day, and an emotionally intense story that needed to impact the reader in just the right way. Certainly, it was a lot of work for both Chile and Nemo, but they were still able to finish all of it and make something they're proud of. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to finish the art assets for that story because he was focused on developing Day 6, maybe in a future build. Despite that, he really enjoyed the final result, so he hopes you feel the same as him. This build though, hold on to your booties bottoms, because Day 6 is going to make all you guys work harder. I know I already said that before, that bears repeating again. Also tell Chile to get Lord Shoulder Bloom out of her ears. It's getting a little lonely. Today's rule of the AZAF, always have a goal in mind, or else you'll be left behind. If you don't have a reason to keep moving on in your life, then what's the fucking point? And I'm finished. Hopefully this didn't take a million years like last time. Layers, you sexy peoples. Alright, so that's the reason why this story is called Bloodsucker. Because Yousef was going out with a vampire bat and he drinks blood. Yeah, so and Yousef let him suck blood from him later on. So yeah, so anyway, so this definitely confirms that he's gay. I mean, we always see him confirm that he himself is gay in the last update. I mean, he's basically telling Rex last time that he was in the closet, or for he himself to be in the closet, and we definitely get to see him with his boyfriend now. I guess he hasn't told the other football players about his boyfriend though, so yeah, he's definitely in the closet himself. even though he told Rex that he was in the closet. I mean, so I don't know, football players don't know about him having a boyfriend, so, and I kind of like that the boyfriend is a little bit older than Yousef instead of him simply being the same age. I like it that he's a little bit older. Yousef, I think, is 20, and I think the bat is around 25, I believe. So apparently, this bat thinks Camille's a bottom. He gave his reasons why he thinks Camille's a bottom, and he might be right. We'll have to see. And it seems that Yousef is very respectful of his boyfriend, because before he does something major to his boyfriend, he asks him if it's okay. His boyfriend says yes. So I like that about Yousef. And so I like when Yousef decided to let his boyfriend know whenever he feels uncomfortable or that he thinks he's doing something that is wrong. And his boyfriend was understanding about it, and he even feel a little guilty for a moment. You know, he's usually just, this cocky and perverse, all cocky, perverse, what I mean. But he took a break from that. His demeanor changed completely when he heard Yousef say that he did something wrong, or that he felt uncomfortable. And I like that about his boyfriend too. I mean, both of them really understand each other, and they let each other know about how they're feeling, and when they do something that neither of them like, they let each other know about that. Yousef also seems to have self-esteem issues. He doubts himself a lot. He's not very confident. So that's a big problem for Yousef. And he says it might be something to do with species, I think. Now, to me, he seems to be a very knowledgeable guy, and he explained the issue with Camille perfectly, in my opinion, to both Rex and to his boyfriend here. I personally do have some self-esteem issues from time to time. I don't feel like I don't always feel confident about myself, but so I kind of relate with Yousef. I think it takes advice from others for you to be more confident about yourself. Just hearing it from somebody else helps you build confidence in yourself. I mean, yeah, you can tell yourself that you tell yourself that you're better than what you think you are. I mean, you're more talented, you're more capable than what you think you are, but it doesn't. It's not really the same as when somebody else tells you that. When somebody else tells you that, that really helps me in particular with my self-esteem issues, and it really takes somebody else to lift your mood. And his boyfriend helped Yousef in that. So, alright, so that's all I have to say for now. And next update will start day 6 for Camille. So thank y'all very much for watching. Goodbye.